Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. In today's video I'm going to be replacing the CV drive shaft on my 2001 Mitsubishi Magna. I've done the driver's side, the right hand side, so I'm onto the passenger side, the left hand side of the car now. The car is jacked up, it's on a jack stand, so we're safe to work on the car. In terms of what it is that I'm replacing, it's this here. So for two of these it was $220 on eBay delivered. I have an assortment of tools for the job. I'll put those into the description just so that we can get started. I like to put the wheel under the car as well, just for additional peace of mind. Okay, next step, to remove the brakes. You'll need a 15mm socket and a 17mm spanner. Once you crack them, you should be able to undo them by hand. And I'll just get the caliper bracket off as well. And that requires a 17mm socket. These ones can also usually be undone by hand once you crack them. You can get this away now. Next step is to remove the split pin and then the 32mm nut. I'll use a torque wrench on this because it's going to be pretty tight. Couldn't undo it by hand using a socket on the other side. So. Alright, actually, so I've just cut off that end. I'm just going to pull it out the other side. I don't know why I didn't think of this before. Let's see if we can get it out. There we go. Well, there's the trick. If you can't get it out that way, cut off the rounded end and just push it out the other way. Alright, now to remove the nut. So just do that to make sure it's free. Okay, next step is to remove the two bolts holding the strut, and then this will drop down and we can remove the drive shaft from that point. So we need a 17mm socket and 17mm spanner. pop these out, you might need to just lift, just take the weight off them, like so. You should be able to remove the drive shaft without touching the tie rod, so we'll give that a go now. So just before I install the new drive shaft, they are marked left and right. So you've got here CVS 763L for the left-hand side, passenger side, and then the L is an R for the driver's side, right-hand side. So what I'll do is I'll just put a bit of grease on the end, so there's a spline there, just to make it easier for it to slide in, and we'll give that a go now. Now before I feed it through the hub, I'll just make sure it's actually seated correctly. I know it's a little bit hard to see because we're on the passenger side and the axis isn't as good as the driver's side, but just here is the end of the drive shaft, so there's a spline that goes into the transmission. Just make sure it's sitting flush, like so, before you bolt everything back up. So we'll do that now. Okay, I know that the drive shaft is locked in place. There was that final kind of push, and I know that it's secure, and I've gone underneath and checked that it's sitting flush against the transmission, so we're now good to connect the hub back onto this spline and basically reverse the process to bolt everything back together. I just added a bit of grease onto that spline there. Just a word of warning. Put this washer on, and then we've got the new nut that came with the new drive shafts. Spin that on. Let's do that up now. Now for the brake caliper bracket. Now for the brake pads. Finally, the wheel. Alright, job done. The left-hand side, passenger side drive shaft was a little bit more challenging compared to the right-hand side, driver's side, due to that uncooperative split pin and the plastic shrouding in the wheel arch, making it difficult to remove the old drive shaft and insert the new one. The other thing to keep in mind on that side is that transmission fluid will leak out when you remove the old drive shaft, as opposed to the driver's side, right-hand side, which will not have that problem. You won't have any transmission fluid leaking out on that side. So I'll leave it there for now. If you have any comments or questions, leave them below and I'll get back to you. And as always, thanks for watching and subscribing. Cheers.